Firstly, what is actually diabetes? These are the 4 words that we use to describe diabetes in Singapore. We use English a lot, but we're Chinese, we're Malay, we're Indians. And these are the 4 words that are used to describe diabetes. The Chinese and the Malay word actually is the best description of diabetes. English also good, Tamil also is not that clear. Kencing manis. And essentially in Chinese also it says you have sweet urine. Okay? The sweet urine. Same as what you have in Malay. Okay? And essentially it's saying that, look, your urine shouldn't have high sugar level. But yet, people suffering from diabetes have high sugar level in the urine. But actually, if you have high sugar level in your urine, it's not a problem. You are actually excreting it. You're actually getting rid of it. Right? The bigger problem is not so much that you have sugar in your urine. The bigger problem is you have sugar in your blood. But a lot of times you think, isn't sugar in your blood very good? You feel sleepy, you feel, not enough energy. Let's take some sugar. Right? In English we call it a sugar rush. Then you feel high. Feel good. Right? The problem is sugar in the blood is supposed to be just flowing through. It has to go inside the cells. If it stays in the blood, it's useless. It must go inside the cells for the cells to metabolize the sugar, right? Convert into, if you remember, still ATPs, right, and all the energy, then it is useful. When sugar is in the blood, it is actually very, very bad. Right? It's actually very, very bad. I like to cook, and my mother taught me how to cook from young. Right? And she taught me 2 things. She says, salt, garam, right? Salt is very good as a preservative. Okay, so if you have something, let's say like a vegetable, if you don't have a refrigerator or you want to keep it for longer, you preserve it using salt, right? And it says, a lot of people don't know that actually sugar is also a very good preservative. So that's why you have, say, for example, fruits, you dry it, and then you candy it can keep very, very long. Right? Vegetables, you also can candy it, and then you can keep them very, very long. Sugar is actually a very good preservative. And the picture I want you to get today is, if you have high blood sugar, you are actually having a preservative flowing to your body. You are being preserved, while you are still being alive. Right? So sugar is actually a very good preservative, but while you are alive, I want to be preserved. Right? And when you have excessive blood sugar, it essentially causes blockages and damages in the inner lining of the blood vessels, and damage the blood vessels and block those blood vessels. And one place whereby the blood vessels get blocked are the small vessels in your leg. Right? It's blocked all over, but especially in your leg. if you get blood vessels in your foot that is being blocked, the nerve starts to die. Right? The nerves of the foot start to die. And actually, you feel less pain. And you think, that's a good thing because I don't feel so much pain. Actually, it's very, very bad. Right? I still remember when I was a young doctor, there was this patient who came to me. He was walking, limping a bit, but smiling. I'm very happy to see me. A bit overweight, not very fat, right? He was limping. And as he walked closer, I saw that his foot, he wasn't wearing a covered shoe, he was wearing a slippers. His foot was a bit, bluish in color. And even a bit smelly. Right? So I examined him, I said, what's wrong? And he says, my foot. What's wrong with your foot? Swollen. Any pain? No pain. Right? So he says, not painful. I look at it. I said, what do you work as? Oh, I'm a part-time construction worker, so on. So I go to construction sites and all that. Next question I asked him is, do you know whether you have diabetes or not? Okay. He said, maybe 10, 15 years ago, the doctor said I got diabetes. Do you go for treatment? Not really. Okay. Medicine, mahal, expensive. So, didn't take. And then every day must take the leche. Leche is it's very troublesome, very expensive to take the medication. So for 10 to 15 years, our friend never take any medicine for his diabetes. Right? So I examined him, I took out his slippers, I looked under the foot, the sole of the foot. There was a nail stuck in the sole of his foot because in his work he stepped on a nail. The nerves are dead, he didn't feel the pain. Right? It's not that he stepped on it this morning. The nail was very, very rusty. The nail was stuck there, I don't know for how long. He has been walking around with a nail. Right? The wound got infected. Because the blood supply is bad, the wound never healed. Until now, it's actually rotting. Okay? It's actually smelly. What can I do? Take pliers pull up the nail. Right? I can't do anything. His foot will not recover. Right? You give him antibiotics, you put him on a drip, with intravenous antibiotics, it will not recover. The only thing to do is amputation. So we cut off his foot at the ankle. Unfortunately, the blood supply to the ankle is also bad because he has diabetes for so long. After you cut away, the wound doesn't heal. He got infected again. We got to bring him back and we got to cut now below the knee. Alright? Again, the blood supply wasn't good. The wound never healed. We cut above the knee. Right? Still never healed. The next operation is we got to take up at the hip, that is the whole thigh got to come out. He refused to have that operation. The infection continued, and later on he died. So the problem with sugar in the blood is that it affects your blood vessels. And as a result, a lot of the complications and organs get damaged. And the complications are not just for the food. Your eyes, at the back of your eyes, the retina, the most sensitive part of your eyes, the blood vessels there get damaged, you go blind. The picture below is someone with kidney problem, because again, the kidney is very, very sensitive to a lot of the small blood vessel damage. You go into kidney failure, and he has to go on an artificial kidney, or what we call a dialysis machine, 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Right? So very common kind of complications from this type 2 diabetes because of damage to small blood vessels. Not only small blood vessels, it damages your large vessels, so you end up having heart attack, right? You end up having stroke. So it is the complications of diabetes that is actually frightening. Diabetes on its own, yeah, you feel very well. I can be having diabetes right now without me knowing, right? But it's the complications of diabetes that is absolutely frightening. And it's the complications of diabetes that's going to end up driving up the cost of healthcare. Because diabetes is a very silent disease. What is diabetes actually? Is something we call insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity is how much is your muscles and your different cells sensitive to the insulin. Insulin is like a key, and there are receptors in your muscles, receptors in various cells like your brain, where the key has to fit. And once it's open, the door is open for glucose to go in. Right? When you lose your insulin sensitivity, it means you lost the key, or the receptor got blocked. So the sugar stays outside, and your cells actually die. Right? Because the cells need the sugar. So if the sugar stays outside, your blood sugar will go up. When your blood sugar goes up, your pancreas, right, the organ behind in the back of the abdomen, secretes a hormone called insulin. Insulin is the key to try and open the lock. But the lock is not functioning well. So you have more keys floating around, but the door is still not opening for the sugar to go in. That stage is what we call pre-diabetes. It is not a very good name, because a lot of times we say pre-diabetes, then the people, the public say, oh, pre-diabetes, balloon diabetes. Right? Haven't started yet. Boleh lah, I continue to makan. Right? So the problem is, the term pre-diabetes is actually already a disease. But most people think that, oh, I'm feeling perfectly fine. You got no symptoms. You feel very well. You won't end up with those complications yet. Right? Then your pancreas get very tired of producing insulin. It gives up, the insulin level actually drops, but your sugar level keeps shooting up. Right? That's when we diagnose you as having diabetes, but you are still very, very well. Many times, when we diagnose a patient with diabetes, the fellow look at me and say, "You must be joking. I am not sick. You know? How dare you say I got diabetes? The blood test says you got diabetes." So they actually have no symptoms. But the problem is your risk of getting the diabetic complications goes up. And it goes up already in the pre-diabetes stage. It doesn't go up only after when the doctor said, yes, you are diabetic. It actually starts way before that. Right? So usually, by the time I see a patient with diabetes, he already has diabetes for about 10 years. And he already has diabetes, pre-diabetes for about another 5 to 10 years. So the disease has been happening for almost 15 to 20 years without the person knowing. By the time you are diagnosed with diabetes, your risk of all those complications that you saw earlier on were already there for a long, long time. So don't think that the moment the doctor diagnoses you have diabetes, it's only from then that it starts. It starts way before, 10, 20 years before. Right? So I think that's one important message that we need to get across to people who are diagnosed with diabetes. Look, it is not just from today. It actually started very far back. And you really, really, really got to watch it. Because if not, you're going to end up with those complications. So, the first point I want to get across to you is that diabetes is a scary problem. I hope you are scared already. It is a very, very scary problem from an individual point of view, from a patient's point of view. Okay? Because the complications are very serious. And secondly, it's actually a silent killer. Like my friend, that patient that died, right? Even if he didn't die, if he has to go around with an amputation, quality of life is going to change. If you get a stroke, your quality of life is going to change. So diabetes steals not only your life, but the quality of your life. On the patient, and what actually happens in diabetes, let's look at the population, and I use Singapore as an example. From 1992, we started having National Health Survey, so we can get accurate data on different health conditions, and that includes diabetes. 1992, it was below 10%. 2010, it was all the way up to 13.5%. So we know it's going up. And we were asked to project what would happen to diabetes, proportion of people with diabetes in 2050. And we did this to the Ministry of Health, use this data, and they projected and said, oh, by 2050, this kind of your statistics regression line. Oh, by 2050, only about 14%. Tidak apa lah, now 11%, maybe 14%. No problem. So I was using this data and teaching the Masters in Public Health class. and we learn something called age standardization. Age standardization is a statistical method whereby we basically say, let's assume that age is not causing any change over time. In other words, the population structure of 1992, the population structure of 1998, 2010, and so forth, the age structure remains the same. I want to remove the effect of age. What would be the proportion of people with diabetes? And so I give my students and they do calculation, and so on and so forth, and they plot, and then they plot. Very good. Then one student asked me, Professor, that look very strange. Why is it when you don't adjust for age, it goes up? And if you adjust for age, it's like a flat. How come, once you adjust for age, everything is flat, no increase? And in front of the class, she asked me that question. I don't know the answer. So, but I'm a very well-trained professor. When a student asks you a question when you don't know the answer, what do? What do? You ask back the same question. You say, very good question. What do you think? Okay. So the student gave a very good answer. The student said that if it's flat, once you remove the effect of age, then when you see the rise without removing the effect of age, this rise is due to aging. This rise is not due to anything else. From 1992 to 2010, it is going up because the population is getting older. That's all. So if I project to 2050, it means as the population gets older and older, yes, more people with diabetes. Right? But aging is not the only risk factor for diabetes. In other words, yes, of course, when we get older, we'll get more chronic disease, but aging is not the only risk factor for diabetes. The other risk factor is, right? And it's not obesity alone, it's overweight. So just by being overweight and obese, your risk of diabetes goes up. So this projection that in Singapore we only have 14% of the population with diabetes in 2050 is not accurate. It's only based on aging. Obesity is a big risk factor. This was a study that was done by Harvard School of Public Health, and it was a very interesting study because they actually followed up a group of people, that's a cohort, over about 20 years to 30 years. Right? And they monitoring all these people every few years. In that cohort, there were Caucasians, white. And what this chart shows is that for a certain change in BMI over the 20 years, among the Caucasian, there will be a doubling in terms of the risk of diabetes, right? For Asians, more than 3 times. In other words, the Caucasian population has higher risk for diabetes, no doubt, when they get fatter and more obese. We Asians get even much more higher risk. Right? So somehow we Asians are disadvantaged in terms of risk of diabetes. So Asians are at higher risk of getting type 2 diabetes. What is the reason? Part of the reason is because of how we measure body fat. The best way of measuring body fat is to find out the percentage of body fat that you have. Right? For a Caucasian, we say someone with BMI above 30 is considered obese. He will have 40% body fat. If his BMI is 30, you have 40% body fat. In other words, if you give me an angmo, you know, angmo is our Singaporean way of saying Caucasian, you know, white. If I murder him and then I dissolve him and put him inside a bigger measuring cylinder, the top 40% will be fat, floating on top, right? The rest will be protein and whatever, you know, but fat will be 40%. For Chinese, I don't need a BMI of 30 to get 40% body fat. I only need to get a BMI of 27. Right? So just with a BMI of 27, I will get 40% body fat. And BMI of 27, you don't look young, no. You don't look fat, you look bagus. Right? BMI of 27 is actually very, very nice here. But you already have 40% body fat. Whereas BMI of 30 is like, wow. And a lot of times we think that being fat is, I can see that you are fat. No. For Asians, you are already obese even if you don't look obese. That's the frightening thing. Chinese, 27. Malay, 26.5. Indian, 25.5. So you have BMI of 25.5, 26.5, 27, you look cantik. Okay? You look very, very good, you don't look obese. Okay? You go to Singapore, you walk along the main shopping street, Orchard Road, right? You see anyone fat? You know, those are Caucasians, not Singaporean, foreigners. All the Singaporeans say, hey, not bad, what? You know, my friends from overseas, from US, come to Singapore, say, well, you don't have obesity problem. Yes, we have obesity problem. Because we actually hide our obesity very, very well. So Asians are obese, we just hide them very well. Okay? I asked my surgical friends, I said, I give you a Caucasian who is fat, I give you a Chinese who is fat, and I want you to operate on that. Right? Go into the intestines. Who will you prefer to operate on? Right? It tells me, anytime I prefer to operate on the Chinese. I said, why? For a Caucasian, I cut the skin. Under the skin, thick layer of fat. And to do surgery to cut through fat is not easy.